Hey Taylor Kia fans, it's Jim Welch here for another edition of our Coaches Chronicles, and this week we are with University of Findlay basketball coach Charlie Ernst. And first thing, before we get started, Charlie, happy birthday.
Thank you. Time has flown. It's such an adage of, enjoy every day because life goes fast. And when you're young, it goes in one ear and out the other. The older you get, the more you realize, enjoying every day is really important. And that's a challenge for all of us. But I think as a head coach, it's really important for me to keep a good positive attitude. So if there's one day I should definitely do that, it's probably today.
Hey, so your 10th season, you started your 10th season this year, correct?
I think that's right.
You guys are off to another 6-1 start, off to a really good start again. You're ranked again, which you guys are every year. It's been that way for quite a few years. How are things going right now with you and the team?
Well, going well until this past game. Although, we started to see some cracks in our game a little bit. We were starting to be exposed in certain areas, but we were winning games. And sometimes it's hard to get your team's attention when you're winning games, despite some flaws. And sometimes it takes a loss. You're never happy about a loss. I think the easy thing to do is to blame the players. But I feel like, I've always been pretty good at knowing when to blame myself and when to adjust the players. And I think it's usually after a loss like we just suffered, a big loss, it's a combination of both. So we got to get back to work and fix those things.
You're now in your 30th year in basketball at the University of Findlay, 20 years under Coach Nikian. And everybody has, a lot of people you'll talk to, they work for a great boss at one time or another, but you got to work under a legend that won 806 games.
Well, I think I learned so many things from Ron off the court, most of them in the type of person he is, the way he handles people, and there were times along the way where, I wondered why he did certain things, but when you're with someone for 20 years, you start to realize why he does certain things the way he does them, and there's a method to the madness.
So with everything that's going on, COVID in the world and everything stuff, obviously no fans allowed at Croy this year during the games, which is obviously really hard for a lot of the people. How are the players and everything still?
Well, I guess I can't answer that for 100% certainty. They normally answer it the way they probably think the coach wants to hear it. I think they're handling it pretty well, although I think as time goes on, it's probably going to get a little tougher. Some people might think it'll get easier because they'll get used to it. But I just think that the grind of the pandemic, the way it's changed their lives, the way it's, I wouldn't say destroyed their hope, but rocked their hope as kids, as teenagers, as young men and young women. It's a struggle. It's a struggle for a lot of us to kind of find hope in when life might return to normal. And, when we practice, when the game begins, I think there's some normalcy that returns. But I still think at the end of the day, they miss their fans, they miss their parents, they miss the people that they're close to. And the beauty of Findlay, you mentioned Findlay basketball, the beauty of Findlay is that it's a big enough city that we have a great fan base, but it's small enough that when our players are out in the community, people know who they are, and then the players ultimately learn who they are. And there's a great relationship and rapport that's built. And it's something that I've encouraged and promoted even when I was an assistant, and now we have to do just the opposite. We have to tell our players they have to avoid those situations. They have to avoid the public. And I think it's starting to wear on some of the players, but I can't say that I know for sure. It's something I have to monitor closely. It's part of my job.
Are you going to be able to have it this year at the university, or is this whole pandemic going to be causing, it's going to make it tougher, obviously, but are the kids still going to be able to visit the university, see what University of Findlay basketball is about?
Well, yeah, we had to cancel it last year. That was a big blow to our program, big blow to the school, a big blow to really the community, because we actually have 4 sessions of our team camp In the year prior, so this would have been 19, I'm getting my years mixed up here. 2019, we had 278 schools. That's basically 3,000 kids, coaches, parents, administrators, whatever, that come and spend the night in Findlay, and more importantly, high school coaches, because a program may not have a recruit this year, but 4 years from now they may. And I think developing those relationships makes them feel that this would be a good place for our good player. And so yeah, we have our fingers crossed that this year, by the time June rolls around, I probably feel the same way you do. I think we're both very hopeful that things will have returned enough to normal that we'll have most of this pandemic in the rearview mirror. And not only can we get our camp back that's valuable to our program, but it's one more step to getting life back to normal for kids and people in general.
I think everybody's hoping that that's the avenue that we're going to continue to push with the vaccine and everything. I mean, even here at work, just the traffic flow, the people coming in on a regular basis for service and everything is just, it takes a hit. And everybody would like to go back to what the normal
Yeah, I bet.
for us
Yeah.
and every asset. So overall, from what is it that the community of the city of Findlay, that we can let them know now, us here at Taylor Kia and everybody, how can we help you guys with your season, with everything ongoing? How can we help you guys move forward? How can the community help you move forward? Anybody who sees this video, what can they do? How can they step up and help you guys out?
Boy, that's a great question. And I think just to continue to support our program, by watching the games, by listening to things like this, and reaching out to me or anyone really in our athletic department to find out if there's more that they can get, to feel like they're, even though they're not here in person, but maybe here, sending me an email that I could share with the team. Anything that I can do for them or they can do for us. We really miss our fans. We miss the excitement of Croy. But I think our players, appreciate the relationships, as much as they appreciate anything. And I think we could do that still without seeing one another in person. So if there's any ideas or fans have ideas, feel free to shoot me an email, because if there's one thing that I am, is open-minded.
That's good. So there you have it, fans. If anything you can do is send an email, reach out to the coach, reach out to the university. Anything you can do to help out the university would love to hear. Charlie would love to hear it, so does fans. And on the day you hear this video, it's going to be belated, but make sure you get back to Charlie and let him know it's happy birthday. All right? Thanks a lot for stopping in today.
You bet, Jim. Thank you.